Welcome to Raaonline. Today's topic of discussion is inferior vena cava and renal vein. The competency of this topic is, at the end of the session, Phase 1 MBBS students must be able to know the formation, course, relations, tributaries and clinical anatomy of inferior vena cava and renal vein. Before moving into the topic proper, let's discuss a case study. A 55-year-old woman with the history of hepatic sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis is a granulomatous disease of the liver who presents with a new onset of lower limb edema, tachycardia, supine hypotension and dilated abdominal veins and worsening hepatomegaly. The veins below the umbilicus flow towards the head, and what will be the probable diagnosis? In this picture, we can see the dilated abdominal veins. And this image shows hepatomegaly with flowing of the veins. So what will be the probable diagnosis? Let's discuss this case at the end of the session. Let's see the inferior vena cava first. Inferior vena cava is the largest vein in our body. The drainage areas are most of the abdomen, pelvis and the lower limb. So these are the drainage areas just below the diaphragm. So in this picture, this blue color is the inferior vena cava. This is the diaphragm. So the part of the abdomen below the diaphragm as well as the pelvic cavity and the lower limb. So these are the areas drains into the inferior vena cava. The location is, the inferior vena cava is present in the posterior abdominal wall or 2.5 cm right to the aorta. So this is aorta. This is IVC. So the IVC is present mostly towards this is the right side and this is the left side. So IVC is present on the right side around 2.5 cm from the midline. So it is right to the IVC. So the length, the dimensions are, it is twice the length of the aorta. Aorta is around 10 cm length. It is around, the IVC is around 20 to 23 cm in length. The breadth is about 2.5 cm. Let's see the formation. The formation of the inferior vena cava is by the right and left common iliac veins at the level of L5 vertebra. That is at the level of transtubercular plane. So this is the right common iliac vein. This is the left common iliac vein. So the common iliac veins are formed by internal iliac vein and the external iliac vein. So this is the right side, this is the left side. So both right and left internal iliac veins and the external iliac veins together forms the common iliac veins. So the common iliac veins of both right and left side unites and forms the inferior vena cava. So this is the left internal iliac vein and this is the left external iliac vein. So this is left common iliac vein. This is right common iliac vein. So both veins unites and forms the IVC at the level of L5 vertebra. So the plane passes at this level is transtubercular plane. So it is located in the posterior abdominal wall. So the course of the IVC. So here the formation is at the level of L5 vertebra by the fusion of right and left common iliac veins. Then it ascends upwards in the posterior abdominal wall on the right side of IVC while reaching the area of the liver. So here they removed the liver. Here in this picture we can see the posterior surface of the liver. In the posterior surface of the liver, the inferior vena cava makes a groove over here. So the groove for IVC is present. So this is the IVC. The groove for IVC is present in the posterior surface of the liver. Then it ascends upwards and pierces the diaphragm. So diaphragm is present above the liver. So this is the schematic view to shows the opening of the diaphragm. So the inferior vena caval opening is present between the median, that is the central tendon, and the right leaflet of the diaphragm. So this is the opening of inferior vena cava at the level of T8 vertebra or at the level of T8, T9 intervertebral disc. Once again I repeat the course of the IVC. So the formation is at the level of L5 by the fusion of right and left common iliac veins. So this is the right common iliac vein This is the left common iliac vein. Both common iliac veins together forms the inferior vena cava at the level of L5. Then it ascends upwards on the right side of the aorta at the level of the liver. It makes a groove over the posterior surface of the liver. Then it pierces the diaphragm at the level of T8 vertebra. So this is the opening of the inferior vena cava in the diaphragm, which is present in between the median leaflet and the right leaflet of the diaphragm. While then it ascends upwards and pierces the fibrous pericardium at the level of 6th costochondral junction. So at the level of 6th costochondral junction, it pierces the fibrous pericardium of the heart. Then it drains into the right atrium. So this is the schematic view to see the chambers of the heart. So this is the right atrium. So the IVC opens into the right atrium, especially in the posterior and the inferior aspect of the right atrium. So at the opening of the IVC, it is guarded by the valve. All other places it is devoid of valve. Only at the terminal part it has the valve. So this valve is known as Eustachian valve. So that's all about the course of IVC. Once again I repeat the course. So from the formation it ascends upwards on the right side. Then it make a groove in the posterior surface of the liver. Then it pierces the diaphragm at the level of T8. Then it pierces the fibrous pericardium at the level of 6th costochondral junction. And finally it terminates into the right atrium. At the site of opening into the right atrium, it is guarded by the valve. That valve is known as Eustachian valve. So the chamber is right atrium.